Yo, what is up? Yeah, this is Sean, and today I want to talk about Neon. Listen, when it comes to databases, they're one of those things that you don't really think about until they start getting in your way. I mean, provisioning, scaling, backups, migrations, all of that matters, but none of it is what you actually want to spend time on when you're building out a product. So, look, Neon positions itself as a different kind of Postgres. I mean, one that feels more flexible and more modern, and better aligned with how people build apps today. I mean, so yeah, let's break down what Neon actually is, how it works, and why it's been getting so much attention. But before we get into this video, and this is really important, if you've got a business of your own and you want it spotlighted on this channel, hit me up, email me, and we can make that happen. But yeah, Neon is a serverless Postgres platform, and when I say serverless, I don't mean you never think about infrastructure again serverless, but I mean that the database automatically handles things like scaling, branching, and compute without you manually managing those servers. So at its core, it is still Postgres. I mean, real SQL, real transactions, real compatibility. But the way it is deployed and managed is fundamentally different. Listen, one of the key ideas behind Neon is that compute and storage, are decoupled. Listen, in traditional databases, those two things are tightly linked. I mean, if you want more power, you usually have to scale everything together, and Neon actually separates them both. I mean, that means your data lives, independently from the compute, that it is set up on. So look, I mean, that compute can scale up, scale down, or even spin down completely, when it's not needed. I mean, that is a big deal for modern apps that don't have constant traffic. So one of Neon's most interesting features is database branching. I mean, if you're familiar with Git, the idea will feel familiar. Listen, you can create a branch, of your database with the same scheme and data, and use it for development, testing or previews. That means, that there are no more shared dev databases. I mean, no more breaking production by accidents, no more awkward migrations, during testing. Listen, you can spin up a branch, experiment freely, and throw it away when you're done. Listen, this entirely changes how teams think about database workflows. Listen, Neon databases can scale down to zero when they're not in use. So if your app is idle, you're not paying for compute you're not using, and that is really great. When traffic comes back, compute spins up automatically, and this makes Neon especially attractive for side projects. I mean, early stage startups, internal tools, apps with spiky, or unpredictable traffic, stuff like that. Listen, you don't have to constantly think about right sizing your database. And because Neon is Postgres, it works with the entire Postgres ecosystem. I mean, ORMs, migration tools, BI tools, analytics platforms, all of it just works. You're not learning, a whole new language. You're not locked into, some proprietary extensions. Listen, that compatibility makes Neon feel less risky, than many newer, database platforms. So listen, it is also built on a distributed architecture designed to handle replication, backups, and recovery automatically. I mean, things like point-in-time recovery, and durable storage, are parts of the platform, not add-ons you have to, configure yourself. And from a developer's perspective, that means fewer things to worry about, and fewer ways to accidentally shoot yourself in the foot. But look, Neon isn't trying to replace every database in every company. I mean, it is especially well suited for, like I said, modern web apps, serverless backends, teams that want, clean dev, production separation. I mean, in founders who want, flexibility early on. And if you already like Postgres but want, something that fits better into, a cloud native, usage-based space, Neon makes a lot of sense. Listen, also when it comes to pricing, as you can see, Neon has a free tier that is genuinely usable, especially for developments and smaller projects. And as your usage grows, pricing scales based on actual compute and storage, not fixed instances sitting idle. It is the kind of pricing model that aligns well with experimentation and iteration. And as you can see, the both plans they feature are usage based. So There is no monthly minimum, for that. Listen, Neon feels like a part of a broader shift, in how infrastructure is being designed today. Listen, there is less manual provisioning. It is more elastic, more emphasis on workflows, not just raw performance. I mean, it doesn't try to abstract Postgres away. It just tries to modernize, how you use it. So yeah, that'll be it from today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like under it. Also comment down below what do you think of Neon. And this is really important, just like I said at the beginning. If you've got a business of your own and you want it featured on this channel, hit me up, email me, and we can make that happen. But yeah, see you guys in the next one, and peace.